It's hard to stay safe in Russia because you never know who you might encounter. In this dashcam footage, the sedan driver wasn't happy with how the argument went. Instead of letting it go, he got angry and grabbed an axe. Who even drives around with an axe? The other driver had to back up as the furious man smashed his window, clearly trying to cause damage. Seeing his target reverse, the angry Russian thought about throwing the axe, but then changed his mind and stormed back to his car. It seemed like he had been ready for something like this because, out of nowhere, he pulled out a pistol and started shooting before speeding off. Whoever the target was, they were lucky. You don't hear about highway drive-by shootings every day, but when Russian Mafia men get angry, they don't hold back. In the video, a man squeezed himself out of the car window with a long rifle. After passing a couple of vehicles, the man did not shoot, but whoever he had in mind was lucky that he did not pull the trigger. Even teenagers in Russia want a piece of the chaos. They don't just mess with street signs or other kids, they go for full-on train heists. In this footage, the train captain is in shock and terrified as a group of teenagers keeps trying to force the train door open. From how panicked he is, it's clear that teens like these have done more than just steal during train robberies. Thankfully, the train finally started moving. On February 17, 2016, armed law enforcers raided a restaurant in Dzerzhinsky, Moscow, to disrupt a meeting of high-ranking Russian Mafia members known as the Vory v Zakone, or Thieves in Law. A total of 59 Mafia members were arrested. The attendees came heavily armed. Officers seized 15 handguns, 5 rifles, a shotgun, and 15 knives. The weapons were sent for testing to see if they were linked to past crimes. The Mafia members were between 20 and 47 years old, and many had prior criminal records. The Vors are one of Russia's most powerful criminal organizations, similar to the Made Men. Staying safe in Russia isn't always easy. You never know who you might encounter. In this dash cam footage, a sedan driver got upset during an argument. Instead of moving on, he lost his temper and grabbed an axe. Who even drives around with an axe? The other driver had to back up as the furious man smashed his window, clearly trying to cause as much damage as possible. As the first driver reversed, the angry man considered throwing the axe but changed his mind and returned to his car. It didn't end there. The man, clearly prepared for trouble, pulled out a pistol and started shooting before speeding off. On February 17, 2016, armed law enforcement officers raided a restaurant in Dzerzhinsky, Moscow, to break up a meeting of high-ranking Russian Mafia members known as the Vory v Zakone, or Thieves-in-Law. A total of 59 Mafia members were arrested. The attendees were heavily armed. Officers confiscated 15 handguns, 5 rifles, a shotgun, and 15 knives. The weapons were sent for testing to check if they were linked to previous crimes. In Chelyabinsk, the Mafia controls the highways. They set up checkpoints and make drivers pay cash to pass.
Олег зовут, пишу, ЧТЗ, блядь. Блядь, как? Читызовский, я понял? Олег Читызовский, блядь.
The driver is given a ticket in this clip as proof of payment.
За городом смотрят, блядь, за читызовские пацаны. Вот пусть твой шеф поинтересуется, Олег Читызовский. Он работает на трассе, и пусть поинтересуется, блядь.
In another restaurant raid in Yekaterinburg, officers arrested 167 suspects during a meeting.
Russia's Interior Ministry has released a video of a police raid on a restaurant in which 167 suspected gang members were arrested. It happened in the central city.
The officers said the gang leaders were in the middle of dividing territories for their operations.
The authorities say organized crime gang leaders were meeting to carve up territory. The police seized weapons, drugs, and allegedly counterfeit spirits.
The country's police are just as intense in their efforts to combat the Russian Mafia. In this video, the Russian police Spetsnaz moved in fast, stopping a vehicle in traffic before jumping out in full commando style. The masked officers smashed the car windows and quickly captured their target. What happened next is unknown, as the dashcam vehicle drove away from the scene. Road rage in Russia is on another level. A dash cam captured the moment a white sedan driver, angry about something earlier, fired a shot at a car. After forcing the car to stop, the furious driver got out and used his bare fist to smash the windshield. In a fit of anger, a man climbed onto a car belonging to a Yakuza member and started stomping on it. When the Mafia guy tried to catch him, the man, who seemed drunk, ran into a crowd. But the Yakuza man didn't let it go. When he and his associates finally caught the man, the car owner knocked him out with a kick to the face. American streamer Johnny Somalia had angered the Japanese people with his racist and cruel comments in public. Because of his actions, the Mafia became heroes to the locals when another foreigner, who was with the Mafia, locked the streamer and his cameraman out.
外国人同士喧嘩してんぞ、殴り合いめっちゃしてんぞ。金玉を殴り合いしてんぞ、外国人。ねえ、金玉で見えへんぞ。いい、よいしょ、行こうか。だいぶ行かれたぞ。誰が行かれたんですか？黒人2人、思いっきり殴られたぞ。誰にですか？白人と黒人の喧嘩や。何だと？ほんまにボコボコに行かれたって今。仕返しやな、今から。いやほんま仕返し行かなあかんちゃうこれ。ボコやんほんまに。
The streamer filed a police report, but the real footage of what happened quickly spread online. The Japanese people enjoyed every moment of the humiliating video.
Don't grab nothing! Oh!
A drunk man received a massage but refused to pay for it, so the woman called a Yakuza member to make him pay.
それちょっと悲しいね。I'm from Brazil. Brazil.
あ、何やってんの？ほら、お前。手出したら。ちょっとやりすぎ。ちょっと戻って。手離せ。ほら。手離せ。ほら。お前手離せ。
Tá falando que o cara consumiu e não pagou, né? Entendeu?
In this video, a sedan pulled over to the side of the road, not appropriately parked. A man in a white shirt got out and walked straight into the bushes, while his associate stayed in the car watching. A few moments later, the man in the white shirt came out of the bushes holding something. He walked to a car parked in front, made an exchange, returned with a bag, and then got back into the sedan, which drove off. According to reports, this dashcam footage captured a drug deal. Tired of the drug dealers in their neighborhood, residents of Novokuznetsk decided to take action. They armed themselves with sticks, stakes, torches, and axes, while the thugs came prepared with dogs and weapons. After some back and forth, one of the drug dealers got hurt, and a woman had to step in to stop things from getting worse. Thankfully, that was the end of it, as the drug dealers finally retreated. This female reporter showed real courage, thinking she could interview a man angrily walking toward the cameraman. Things quickly turned frightening when another Mafia guy grabbed the reporter and threw her to the floor. Then, they all turned on the cameraman, attacking him. Stuck in heavy traffic, a Russian gangster saw the perfect chance to rob another driver. 3 men started smashing the car's windows while the driver, unable to move, had no way to escape. After several hits, the driver finally gave up and opened the door for the robbers.
Наши все сидят. Да, сейчас. Куда позвонить?
CCTV footage captured the moment 3 masked men entered a store. Inside, the armed men forced the cashier to lie on the floor while they emptied the cash drawers. They left quickly, just as they had come. Mafia bosses live flashy lifestyles without apology. In this video, one is surrounded by a convoy of luxury cars rivaling those of world leaders. Even with all his guards, when it was time to leave, he took the driver's seat while his guards quickly loaded into their armored vehicles. In this video, two thieves break into a building to steal money from an ATM. They quickly secure the area and set up their tools. Once everything was ready, they started cutting through the vault and managed to open it. They then moved to the second ATM, opened it, and completely emptied both machines. These three robbers had everything planned before raiding the grocery store. As soon as they arrived, two held everyone inside hostage while the third locked the door and put up a closed sign. One robber led a store worker to the back, while another brought an electric cutter from their car. They then started cutting open an ATM inside the store, while the customers and staff remained hostage. A customer later approached the store but turned away after seeing the closed sign. Another person stood nearby, talking on the phone, while the robbers finished their job and drove off. Moments later, a police officer arrived at the scene. In this footage, gangsters try to intimidate a group of Japanese citizens who oppose the imperial family.
なんでお前が住み続けんだよ。お前を万引きして日本から出てけ。はい大体お前ら散々原発とか使っておきながらさ、今さら何がやめろだよ。
In 2017, a fighting video on a Japanese train went viral. The video showed two Mafia-connected Mongolians attacking a Chinese man on the train. Even when officers arrived, they couldn't arrest the men right away, and all the passengers could do was watch. What started as a peaceful night drive quickly changed for a truck driver when a reckless sedan suddenly swerved into his lane. The truck driver got out to check for damage, thinking it was just an accident, but he quickly realized Mafia members were robbing him. In this case, cops were after a Mafia transport truck carrying several bulletproof cars. Despite the officers' desperate efforts, the reckless truck driver showed no signs of stopping. Realizing the driver wouldn't pull over, one officer overtook the truck, hid in the bushes, and did something unexpected. He threw a large stone at the truck's windshield. That was enough to make the driver stop, and he was taken into custody. A passerby managed to capture a robbery on camera. In the video, masked thieves entered a store and filled their bags with items from behind the counter. While they were doing this, a man tried to close the door, but it didn't stop them. Soon after, a woman tried to close the door as well and even struggled with one of the thieves, but her efforts weren't enough, and the thieves managed to escape. A TikTok user named Migmar shared the story of his shocking encounter with a Yakuza member at a restaurant.
It felt like they were just kind of just like, they weren't randoms, you know? It was a mixed assortment of people, like, you know, one guy who obviously kind of looks like a little bit of a criminal, like with a Hawaiian shirt and the tattoos and that. But you also have like businessmen there, so like some really high up people in some sort of business. And when I was paying to check out, the business guy kept looking over, glancing over at me. And in my mind, I was just thinking, oh goodness Lord, please do not notice me.
But then his story gets crazier.
I just pretended like, oh no, I can't understand. There was a TV to the right and they were sitting on my left. I just looked at the TV the whole time like, so interesting. But I could hear him laughing. And I could hear the meeting come to like certain points where it's like only one person would talk. And I'm thinking, if you're in a group setting and you've got friends, you're never gonna everyone shut up for that one person, you know? That's a professional meeting. They're talking about something. And I hear the clicking and opening of suitcases and boxes. Like, what do you got in them?
This video shows street thugs clashing with Yakuza members in the middle of the street. Luckily, some cops were there to keep things under control, and after some time, both groups went their separate ways. Someone boldly films a squad of black-suited Yakuza marching through a train station, clearly there to welcome someone important. Even from the way the men walked, they seemed dangerous. Cops stopped some high-ranking Yakuza members on the road, but the Mafia guys weren't having it. This led to a heated argument right in the middle of the street. In the end, the officers let them go. The lanky man thought he was helping the Mafia guys with the smoke, but he didn't expect what happened next. After the shorter Mafia guy lit his cigarette, he suddenly punched him with an uppercut and then robbed him. Stuck in heavy traffic, a Russian gangster saw the perfect chance to rob another driver. 3 men began smashing the car's windows, while the trapped driver had nowhere to escape.
Всего доброго. До свидания. Вот чурк, что говорят.
After a few more hits, the driver finally gave in and opened the door for the robbers.
Наши все сидят. Куда позвонить?
What seemed like a peaceful night drive took a sudden turn for a Thai truck driver when a reckless sedan swerved into his lane without warning. The driver got out to check the damage, thinking it was just an accident, but he was wrong. Mafia members were actually robbing him. In this video, a police van suddenly blocked the path of a Russian Mafia convoy. An officer walked up to one of the drivers to talk. Soon, other mob members got out of their cars and approached the officer in a threatening way. On July 12, 2016, FSB agents stormed the luxurious home of one of Russia's most infamous crime bosses, Zakhary Kalashov, also known as Shakro Molodoy, in Rublevka, an upscale area in Moscow. His men were forced to the ground with their hands on their heads as officers held them at gunpoint. In a video from his kitchen, an officer questioned Kalashov about being a thief-in-law. Kalashov just smirked, refusing to talk on camera, and demanded the recording stop for a real conversation. The officer, however, refused to turn it off.
Фамилия, имя, отчество ваше. Я ничего не буду говорить. Вы являетесь ли вором в законе? Отвечайте, пожалуйста. Я не буду перед камерой ничего говорить. Ваше положение в преступном мире. Не буду перед камерой ничего говорить. Вы еще тут не разыгрываете.
In Russia, road rage often takes a wild turn. In this clip, a taxi driver impatiently overtook some cars, which annoyed the dashcam driver. Frustrated, the dashcam driver called him out and overtook him in retaliation. But things didn't end there.
О, хуй тут едет, рот ебаный.
A few moments later, the taxi sped past again, swerved in front, and blocked the road. The passengers jumped out and the taxi driver headed straight to his trunk.
Чё хуесос, блядь?
He pulled out a baseball bat while the dashcam driver stepped out, holding an axe. Thankfully, they managed to calm down and walk away without a fight. After watching these Mafia members closely for some time, undercover officers finally took action. They cornered the suspect's car in the middle of the road and surrounded it from all sides. Without any struggle, the suspects gave up peacefully.
Работаем. Все, погнали. Давай, перекрывай. Все, работаем.
When searching the car, the officers found a gun, a sledgehammer, and a military weapon. It's unclear what was going through this famous street fighter's mind when he decided to challenge a Yakuza man to a boxing match. But when the fight started, the calm Mafia man showed he wasn't there to fight. He was there to teach the rude guy a lesson. Even after realizing he had lost, the street fighter kept acting tough, so the Yakuza man landed a knockout punch to end it. During the crowded 2005 Asakusa Festival, the commotion quickly led to Yakuza members starting a fight. They took turns beating up a man for unknown reasons. A CCTV camera in Kabukicho captured the moment a group of thugs attacked a man, dragging him out of a store and beating him onto the street. When one of the thugs noticed a passerby filming the attack, he immediately went after the person and forced him to delete the video. Meanwhile, his companions shared what they had stolen from their victims. Even Santa isn't always pleasant in this country. CCTV footage from a pawn shop captured 3 armed robbers dressed as Santa Claus in action. One of them held a man hostage, while the others grabbed valuables. Once they were done, they rushed toward the exit. As they reached the door, a customer opened it, but ran away after spotting the robbers. One chased after him, but quickly returned to alert the crew, and they all fled. In this video, a group of thieves stormed a jewelry shop and took everything they could grab, leaving the place empty. After investigating, the police tracked down the criminals and raided their hideout.
Фамилия, имя? Уроженец. Фамилия, имя? Лицо показывай. Уроженец.
Another group of tourist streamers in Japan wanted to film inside a bar, but the owner didn't want them streaming there. So, he called a Yakuza member to send them away.
What is this?
Kodami. It's a bar. No, shut up. It's a bar. You talk to girls. No, so it's good for streaming, I guess, but I don't think you can film there. He's pissed. So
okay, let's go then.
Okay.
Damn, those are the ones that blow you. They're hot as fuck.
Definitely go. We should definitely go.
Why? Why is he pissed for?
We are in the worst area of Japan, so some people are the.
Are we going direct?
A group of thugs tried to rob a jewelry store, but what they didn't know was that the store owner was ready. He fought them off with a samurai sword, and the police were able to arrest some of the suspects. In this video, during a road rage incident, a group of thugs got out of their cars and started fighting in the middle of the road. One of the men attacked another with a baseball bat, but in the middle of the fight, one man walked back to his car.
Oh, see, that's wrong.
It seemed like the fight was over, but then the man with the bat walked up to the car again and slammed it with the bat. In response, the angry driver hit the man with his car, sending him flying and crashing through the glass of a nearby shop. In Japan, there's a ceremony called Seijin Shiki, a coming-of-age ceremony for people who just turned 20. During the 2019 ceremony, some gangs couldn't stay calm, and as soon as they met on the main road, a full-on brawl broke out. Stuck in traffic and frustrated, a Mafia member got into a fit of road rage. He approached another driver to confront him, but the driver didn't take it well. In response, he pulled out pepper spray and sprayed both himself and the Mafia guy.
Улучшай отношения с разными фракциями, чтобы получить доступ к новым технологиям. Если ты играешь с друзьями, то вместе вы можете собрать непобедимого составного робота. На карте мира ты найдешь любое задание. Бои с другими.
Unfortunately for the driver, the pepper spray didn't have the effect he hoped for. Instead, it enraged the Mafia member, who grabbed a gun and, without hesitation, fired at the driver in retaliation.
Битву, сражения с огромными боссами или сюжетный режим. Также в игре постоянно проходят особые ивенты. Прокачай Battle Pass, чтобы открывать новые детали и чертежи. Качай кросс-аут бесплатно по ссылке в описании.
Riding with a gang can sometimes give a biker a false sense of power, and that was precisely the case here. As a black SUV was rounding a corner, one biker, feeling bold, decided to swerve at the vehicle. The SUV, packed with Mafia members, didn't take it lightly. They chased the biker and forced him to the side of the road. The Mafia men stormed out of the car. visibly angry, with weapons strapped to their sides. It looked like the bikers' fate was sealed as they approached, armed and ready. Fortunately, bystanders stepped in and calmed the situation, defusing the chaos.
Abi hani hızlı geliyorlar ya, kontrol amaçlı ya. Abi kontrol amaçlı.
This dash cam captured when a G-Wagon suddenly stopped next to an SUV, causing traffic to halt. The driver quickly got out of his vehicle. It seemed something had happened earlier, and the G-Wagon driver, who turned out to be a Mafia member, wouldn't let it go. He went straight to the SUV's passenger seat and started throwing punches at the passenger. Surprisingly, the passenger fought back while the SUV driver tried to drive off. The Mafia driver returned to his vehicle, but to everyone's surprise, the SUV passenger got out and went after him to continue the fight. Despite taking several punches to the face, the passenger stubbornly refused to back down, determined to stop the Mafia guy from leaving. CCTV captured a tense moment between a bald Mafia guy and a pub customer. Initially, it seemed like a simple misunderstanding, as the two men argued calmly without any signs of aggression. But suddenly, the bald guy threw a jab straight at the other man's face. The seated man tried to hold back the Mafia guy, but that only made him more aggressive. The situation quickly spiraled out of control as everyone around watched helplessly. Fortunately, a man in a blue jacket showed up just in time. He immediately stepped in to separate the two men. When the bald guy refused to back down and kept pushing for more, the man in the blue jacket ended the fight with a few hard punches, knocking the Mafia guy out cold before calmly walking away. In this video, a shirtless Mafia man, who didn't seem scared of the consequences, played with a metal pipe as he walked toward a cop, trying to intimidate him with his weapon and Yakuza tattoo. However, his act didn't last long. More cops arrived with batons and shields, and when the man tried to push his way through by acting tough, the officers surrounded him, disarmed him, and restrained him before arresting him. It turns out that not all citizens in Japan are afraid of Mafia members. In this video, a man dragged a criminal, who was also linked to the Mafia, across the floor to a police station. He then handed him over to the officers, who casually took the criminal in. The civilian then walked away, as if the whole situation was completely normal. When two robbers tried to rob a shop, this Russian man wouldn't let them take his favorite store. With courage, the elderly man approached the robber with the gun at the counter and tried to disarm him. Despite taking several hits to the face, he bravely managed to push the robbers out of the store. This video captures another well-planned traffic robbery. Dashcam footage shows three armed men stepping out of a gray sedan in traffic and getting straight to business. Within seconds, they rushed back to their car, and the getaway driver, without hesitation, forced his way through the one-way traffic. You never know what Mafia members might be caught doing on camera. In this CCTV footage, 5 men casually walked into an ATM booth and started forcing a machine out. It was clear they had planned everything, as a getaway vehicle was already waiting. They struggled to load the heavy machine into the trunk while a passerby watched. After securing it, the car sped away, and the guys dispersed. This webcam footage shows the moment when officers raided the home of a former Yakuza member for running a scam ring that tricked pensioners out of millions. As the officers entered the living room, they found him lying on a couch and quickly arrested him. Chaos erupted in Tokyo when a man dressed as a Joker took control of the Keio train line. Six people were injured in the attack before the man was finally arrested. In Russia, teenage gangs operate differently. In this video, a train operator captures the moment several teens try to break into a train. Luckily for the operator, the train started moving just in time before they could get inside.
Пошел нахуй, уебище!
When these teens manage to board the trains, they steal anything they can find and even attack the operators.
Дай печатку заберу. Все, нет. Печатку забери. Полезный, долбоёб. Побежал, съёбываемся. У меня ебальник купил.
The party seemed normal at first until a group of hippie Mafia guys entered the club and went straight into the crowd. They were having fun and blending in with the party. But soon, things took a turn. The men started fighting, throwing punches and slamming chairs. Meanwhile, the band in the background kept playing fast-paced metal music, adding energy to the chaos. The CCTV captured the moment when a man tried to stop some Mafia guys from beating up another customer in a bar. But things quickly turned bad as the men began attacking him too. When it seemed like the fight was over and the Mafia guys were about to leave, the man grabbed a chair and slammed it on one of them. That triggered round 2 of the fight, but this time with chairs and bottles. The thugs didn't just keep beating the man, they also started damaging the bar. A wrestling match quickly turned chaotic when Yakuza members and thugs from another Mafia gang rushed into the ring and interrupted the live show. In this video, multiple police officers were called when rival gang members clashed on a busy street. It seemed like things were about to get violent, but thanks to the cops, the fight stayed limited to insults and shouting. Drone and body cam footage captured the moment tactical officers raided a top Russian-speaking crime network. The officers immediately arrested the suspects on the breach, and as they searched the house, they found a tunnel leading to a basement filled with weapons, money, and jewelry. Fueled by adrenaline, this Russian mobster cocked his AK-47 and fired shots into the air for fun. After letting off enough rounds, he returned to his car, where his family set up camp. In this video, FSB agents raided a house that was suspected of hiding weapons for terrorists. They arrested the people inside and found homemade pistols and bullets, confirming their intel. Similar raids took place in multiple cities, leading to the arrest of 134 people and the recovery of more weapons, including over 30 kilograms of explosives.
Захват, захват. А что я сделал, ребят? Руки под себя! Руки под себя!
Оружие.
Есть.
Like any mob celebration, this one wouldn't be complete without gunfire. In this video, a gang member fired shots into the air. After that, another Mafia member spun his car in circles, blocking traffic. In this video, Russia's FSB carried out a sting operation, arresting a man in the middle of a parking lot. They arrested another man in the same way. Both were members of the Shamil Basayev and Katab gangs and had taken part in an armed attack on Russian soldiers in October 1999, which killed 15 people and left 28 seriously injured. In December 2015, 53 Mafia members were meeting at a country club in a Moscow suburb when special forces busted them.
In law, are a powerful and interesting bunch with one of the most fascinating underworld codes among the world's major organized crime groups. Unlike career criminals of other global underworld traditions, such as the Italian Mafia, who often mingle seamlessly.
When one Mafia member was interviewed, he explained that they had gathered because one group member sold a car to someone in the other group without mentioning that it had been stolen. The buyer felt insulted and wanted compensation.
Apparently, a member of one group sold the BMW to a member of the other without first warning him that it was stolen.
Друзья? А кто друзья? Друзья кто? А по какой статье вы ранее судимы? Давно освободились?
The buyer considered this a great insult and sought compensation, if not revenge.
After gathering intel on a gun-running gang, the Russian army raided the area. As soon as they entered the property, they took an older man wearing a military uniform into custody. Inside the building, the officers found a wide range of weapons, from handguns and rifles to knives, grenades, and various types of bullets. After interrogating the arrested suspect, they learned more about other members of the gang and began a manhunt.
Фамилия, имя, отчество.
Яковлев Александр Петрович.
Громче.
Яковлев Александр Петрович.
Год рождения. Лицо вниз. Нагло.
In this CCTV footage, 5 men casually walked into an ATM booth and began trying to remove the machine. They had planned this, as a getaway car was already waiting. They struggled to load the heavy machine into the trunk while a passerby watched. After finally securing it, the vehicle sped off and the men scattered. It was quite a scene in a Moscow mall when the anime gang PMC Redan clashed inside.
Чё? Стоять. Оу, тебя ударили?
The chaos ended when mall guards stepped in and broke up the fight, bringing the group back to their senses.
Нормально все? Нормально.
After receiving intel and tracking down suspected Mafia members, special operatives sprang into action and targeted a sedan.
Отсюда заезжает автобус. Давай, работаем. Стреляй, стреляй! Стреляй по колесам!
The driver tried to escape, but it was no use. Some officers were wrestling with the steering wheel, holding on until they gained complete control of the vehicle.
Давай! Давай! Вперед, вперед, вперед! Закрывай! Закрывай! Закрывай, вперед! Давай, езда! Давай, давай, давай! Лупи! Лупи стекло! Давай, лупи стекло! Давай, давай, вырывай! Вырывай! Вылезли все!
The Mafia members in the car finally gave up, stepped out, and were taken into custody by the officers.
На пол!
На пол все!
На пол!
Убивай, блядь, убивай!
Убивай, пидорасов!
Убивай, блядь! Руки, блядь, руки, сука!
After a G-Wagon overtook a Russian driver on the road, he got angry and pulled out his camera to record himself confronting the driver.
Смысл меня подрезал? Смысл меня подрезал? Я не понял вообще.
Fuming, he walked up to the G-Wagon, knocked on the driver's door, and demanded an explanation, but he instantly regretted it when the window rolled down, revealing Special Forces officers, with one of them pointing a gun at him. Luckily for him, the officers weren't after him, so he quickly ran back to his car.
Ты как ездишь?
Чё хочу?
Извините, извините.
Ты что ли? А?
В смысле, это свои были?
Я понял, заебал.
Special Forces recorded the moment they broke into a bulletproof Mafia car and arrested the driver.
Стоять, полиция!
Это уникальные кадры. Спецназ полиции, вооружившись кувалдой, пытается вскрыть бронированный инкассаторский автомобиль. Объясняется все просто. За рулем не сотрудник охранной фирмы, а торговец наркотиками.
Ребята, чё? А чё? Куда вы?
The car had a strange design, built to protect its passengers from gunshots and explosions from rival gangs.
Двойное стекло бронированное, да?
Через крошечное окошко в машину передавали деньги. Из него же клиенты получали так называемую соль. Крайне опасный синтетический наркотик, вызывающий мгновенное привыкание и быстро превращающий наркомана в пациента психиатрической клиники.
Задняя стенка автомобиля тоже усилена металлом 5 мм. Стекла двойные.
In Chelyabinsk, the Mafia controls the roads. They set up checkpoints on highways, stop drivers, and write them tickets.
729.
И мне еще подъехал ни раз, я не знаю, как ты прорывался, блядь.
Убирал.
В 5 бригад работает конкретно. Так, смотри. Вот меня Олег зовут, пишу ЧТЗ, блядь. Блядь, как?
The drivers have to pay for these tickets. It is like a road pass.
ЧТЗовский, я понял?
Ага.
Олег ЧТЗовский, блядь. И вот кто у нас за городом смотрит, за, блядь, за ЧТЗовские пацаны, вот пусть твой шеф поинтересуется, Олег ЧТЗовский. Он работает на трассе, и пусть поинтересуется, блядь.
This kind of ambush feels like something out of a movie, not real life. The Benz driver must have been shocked when a car on his left suddenly swerved before him, trapping his vehicle. When he saw the car doors swing open and people rushing toward him, he tried to reverse, but he was stuck. The robbers smashed his window, forced him to open the trunk, and within seconds they emptied his car. Ever wondered what happens when a gang of teenage mobs raids a train? This video shows it all. Recorded by one of the teens, it captures the moment they attacked a train worker and forced him to open a door. At the other end of the train, the teens were busy looting whatever they could. Russian mafia gangs are known for their confidence. In this video, two gangs walked openly into the street, clearly ready to fight. And they did. Both groups clashed, throwing punches at each other. It seems like almost every man in Russia is part of a mob gang. In this video, an impatient taxi driver overtook some cars, which annoyed the driver with the dash cam. He called out the taxi driver and overtook him in return, but that wasn't the end.
О, хуй тут едешь, в рот ебаный.
Moments later, the taxi came speeding back, overtook the dashcam car, and suddenly blocked the road. The people inside jumped out, and the driver went straight to his trunk.
Чё хуесос, блядь?
He pulled out a baseball bat while the dash cam driver also stepped out holding an axe. Luckily, they settled things without a fight. In this video, police made mass arrests of Yakuza members, loading them all onto a bus. Amid the chaos, a man suddenly yelled, possibly trying to stir up trouble, but an officer quickly tackled him to keep things under control. After 14 years on the run, a former Yakuza boss was finally caught in Thailand. Just like in anime, after-school fights between high school gangs happen in real life too. Soon, another high schooler steps in to calm things down, and all the guys head into a building, probably where the college student is going to fight the high schoolers. Japan doesn't just have male gangs, there are female gangs too. In this video, TikToker at NomadicLyrian2, who was visiting Japan, got a surprise when he saw some ladies fighting.
Konnichiwa. Oh, hello. I don't like people.
sheep. You need sauce though. This they were okay, but they were like brawling. I thought it was like kids fighting if they fight, not adults, because you can't see it out there. They were like on the ground tussling. They were full on like having.
Staying out of it, he kept eating and minding his business. But soon, the women came down from where they were fighting, laughing loudly and walking toward him in a way that felt both scary and uncomfortable.